What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it. Week 13 Heisman Watch List. Week 12 was a doozy. It was crazy. It was dramatic. It was insane. And the list is definitely shaking up. A lot of names are completely off the list. No top five, no honorable mention. They're just wiped clean from the slate. And it's all due respect. They had great seasons. These young men, I'm about to mention, but they're definitely off the list. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, with all due respect, Hendon Hooker led the Heisman, everyone's Heisman watch list for most of the year. I started mine very, very late in the season. I started at week 11, week 12, week 11, and I did week 12 also. And he's my number two. That was the first, I did my first one after the loss to Georgia. But I said in those two videos, he's going to need a miracle, to get to number one again. I lost all belief in him from that Georgia loss. And last night's game versus the Gamecocks, it just took him all the way out. He had a fantastic year, great run. But man, last night's game was just insane to watch. Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks went insane. So Hendon Hooker is off the list completely. No top five, no honorable mention. He is out. Drake Maye. Drake Maye had a great season so far. Yesterday lost to Georgia Tech. Jeez Louise. Lost to Georgia Tech. He was my, ranked 3 or 4 last week? Ranked 3. I'm still looking forward to that Clemson game, but not as much now. It still should be a good game. They still might end up winning. And he might can get back up to the honorable mention spot. But right now, he's off the list completely. Those two guys. Hendon Hooker was number 2. And Drake Maye was probably 3 or 4. I forgot what now, but he was up there definitely. Those two are gone from the list completely in honorable mention. Now on to my honorable mention. Stetson Bennett, very close to putting him in my top 5. Couldn't quite make it, but he's been in my honorable mention list for the last 2 weeks. Just not doing enough to me personally to get in my top 5. The team is winning, obviously. Best team in college football, clear as day, no question about it. We knew that from day one. But he's just not doing enough to me to get in there. He's not flashy enough. He's not putting up the good numbers, even though I don't care about numbers. He's just not that impressive. He's a great game manager, but he's not impressive enough to put on the top 5. But like I said, all due respect, he's in my honorable mention list for the last 2 weeks. He probably will crack the top 5 once all said and done. If TCU loses or Michigan or Ohio State loses in that game next week, or USC or whatever. No, if someone loses, he's gonna probably crack the top 5. But as of right now, as it stands, he's not gonna be in there. He's an honorable mention. Another honorable mention guy, Bo Nix, was my number 1 2 weeks ago. Dropped out the top 5 now. Guys are playing a little better than him now, but he had a phenomenal season. Great year so far. And I have Chase Brown and Jaden Daniels to round out my honorable mentions list. Jaden Daniels very close as well. The LSU team is rolling. They're balling. He's balling. I like them Arizona State last couple years. He's had a very, very slow start at LSU career the first couple games, but bounced back, had a phenomenal year, beat Bama, had a great year so far. Like I say, he's another one who might crack that top 5 if everything works out in his favor, but he's very close. Now on to my 5. Now this kind of strange for me because, as I said in my previous video, 11 and 12, I'm gonna respect the quarterbacks more, but you gotta mention this man's name. He's been my honorable mention list the last 2 weeks. He's cracked the top 5 with his performance yesterday's game, and that's Bijan Robinson, Texas running back. Just phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal. First round pick guarantee. Best running back in the draft class. This upcoming draft class guarantee. He's just great. There's nothing else to say about it. He's phenomenal. So he's top 5. He cracks my list. Probably won't stay there too long. I'm not gonna lie, but for right now, he deserves that respect. He's been just phenomenal all year long. Best player on Texas. Best player. Let me fact check real quick. Best player in this conference? Yeah. Best player in this conference. Yeah, I had to make sure I covered all the teams real quick. Yeah, best player in this conference, no question about it. Best player at his position in the whole college football, no question. Bijan Robinson. at number 5. Number 4, I got Max Duggan. Max Duggan, TCU snuck in there. Didn't have the best game last week's game versus who did they just play? Utah? I think Utah. Something. I forgot who they just played, but yeah, I think it was Utah. Last second win. Um, had a good season so far. Didn't have the best last couple weeks, but he's been good. He's been good. Team's undefeated. They're right now ranked number 4. So yeah, he gets the nod there. He's been my honorable mention list along as well as Bijan Robinson, Stetson Bennett, and Chase Brown the last couple weeks. He deserved that nod now. His team is undefeated. He gets that nod over Bijan Robinson at 5. Now Max Duggan is at 4. Great year so far. Can they keep it up? Can they keep it up? They've been struggling the last 2 weeks with tough competition, but they've come out on top so far, staying undefeated. I hope they get in. I don't think they'll do much damage. I think they'll be out the first round, but I just hope to see them in, get some parity, new teams in there. And he had a great year so far. So keep it up, Max Duggan. You're on number 4 for week 13. Number 3, Blake Corum. Another 100-yard game. 18 carries, 108 yards, 8 straight games, 100 yards or more. Been fantastic. Mr. Consistent. He's all of Michigan's offense. This game is the game of the week. Ohio State, Michigan. I'm not calling for it, but I'm thinking Ohio State's going to blow him out. I'm not going to lie to you. So Corum, depends on how he plays, might drop just off of game situation because they might have to throw the ball a lot more. But as I said, Corum's their entire offense. You know, he's been fantastic. He's been the leader of the offense. He's been the most productive. So yeah, he's just been amazing all year. If they can somehow beat Ohio State, which would probably be on the ground, he could boost up number 1 and not lose it. Honestly, he's been that good, and if he has a great performance against Ohio State, win or loss, he might loss probably, but no matter what happens, if he loses, might get dropped down. But we'll see. You know, my list isn't everyone else's list, so if I deem him being number 1 after a loss, it's gonna be that. But highly unlikely, because I take that back. So yeah, he needs to win and be an integral part of that win to rise number 1, and it's definitely possible. It definitely is possible. Number 1, number 2. Number 2 first. This was tough, super tough, but I had to go Caleb Williams. That one loss killed him. You know, that one loss. I forgot who was it? Utah. USC lost to. Was it Utah? I think maybe. I forgot who they lost to, but yeah, that one loss killed USC and not killed them, but it really hurt their chances. They're going to be in the Pac-12 title game. They might win it and still might not get into the playoffs. And that game also might have hurt Caleb Williams. You know, he had a great performance during that game. You know, if C.J. Stroud wins all the way out for the regular season, you know, it's going to be tough to overtake him for number 1. So obviously 1 is C.J. Stroud, but Caleb Williams has been phenomenal. That comeback against UCLA was great. He's been phenomenal all season. Him and Lincoln Riley, have been a godsend for USC, and Jordan Addison from Pitt. So yeah, man, he's number 2 for sure. But the only way he gets number 1, maybe the only way. We'll see. We'll see how Stroud plays, because Stroud has had some bad games or some off games while Ohio State still won. So we'll see. But if Ohio State goes undefeated, it's going to be hard to give Caleb Williams that nod over him, honestly, but it is possible. So right now, number 2, I go to Caleb Williams. Number 1, C.J. Stroud, in a tough one, but that's how it's going to be for right now. So number 5, Bijan Robinson, 4, Max Duggan, 3, Blake Corum, and 2, Caleb Williams, 1, C.J. Stroud. So that's it for video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.